Everything you know about operating systems is wrong. Most people think Windows stays on top because it's simply better. Better than Linux, better than macOS, better than everything else. But that's not actually the real reason. In fact, there have been many moments in history when Windows was slower, less stable, more expensive, and even more annoying than its competitors. And yet, nobody could replace it. Not Google, not Linux, not even companies worth trillions of dollars. So the question is, why? Why is Windows so unbelievably hard to replace? To understand this, we need to go back to a very strange moment in computer history. Back when computers were not cool. They were giant beige boxes sitting in offices making weird noises. Most normal people did not even own one. In the early 1980s, a company called IBM was basically the king of computers. If IBM made something, businesses trusted it instantly. Then IBM released the IBM PC in 1981. But here's the weird part. IBM didn't build the operating system themselves. Instead, a small company called Microsoft provided it. That operating system became MS-DOS, and this tiny decision changed the entire future of computing. Because Microsoft made a very smart move, they allowed other companies to create IBM-compatible computers. Suddenly, many companies like Compaq, Dell, and others started building PCs that could run Microsoft software. Now imagine this like Lego blocks. One company makes the screen, another company makes the keyboard, another makes the mouse, another makes the printer. But Microsoft made the glue connecting everything together, and once that glue spread everywhere, removing it became almost impossible. But this is where things get interesting. In 1985, Microsoft released Windows. At first, it was honestly not that impressive. Many people thought it looked clunky compared to Apple computers. Even early versions crashed a lot. But Microsoft had something much more powerful than beauty. They had momentum. Every year, more businesses used Windows. More schools used Windows. More workers learned Windows. More software companies built apps for Windows. And slowly, something invisible started growing. A network effect. This is one of the biggest reasons Windows is so hard to replace. A network effect means something becomes more valuable, simply because many people already use it. Think about WhatsApp. Even if another app is better, people stay because all their friends are already there. Windows works the same way. A business might have accounting software built for Windows in 1998. Their printers work with Windows. Their employees know Windows. Their IT department understands Windows. Their factory machines use Windows. Changing everything would cost millions. So they stay. And the strange part is, sometimes they don't even like Windows. In 2024, Windows still controlled around 70% of the desktop operating system market worldwide. That is enormous. Linux remained small on desktops despite being free. macOS stayed popular mainly in Apple's ecosystem. But market share alone doesn't explain the full story. Because many companies have lost giant leads before. BlackBerry was huge once. Nokia dominated phones. Internet Explorer ruled web browsers. Yet they collapsed. So why didn't Windows collapse too? The answer hides inside something most people never think about. Compatibility. Windows carries around decades of old software like a giant backpack. And that backpack is incredibly heavy. Imagine creating a small business program in 2001. Maybe it controls a warehouse. Maybe it tracks hospital records. Maybe it runs machines in a factory. Now imagine that software still works on modern Windows today. That sounds normal to us now. But it's actually crazy. Microsoft spends enormous effort making ancient programs still function. Some Windows systems still contain code behavior designed for software written decades ago. Former Microsoft engineers have talked about weird compatibility fixes, added only because one important business somewhere depended on them. One famous example involved software installers checking if the Windows version number started with a certain digit. When Microsoft changed the numbering system, old programs broke. So Microsoft added tricks to pretend to be older versions just to keep software running. Think about how wild that is. A trillion-dollar ecosystem built partly on pretending old software still lives in the past. And businesses love this. Because businesses hate risk. If a hospital computer system works, nobody wants to touch it. If an airport runs software made 20 years ago, nobody wants to experiment. And this creates another invisible wall around Windows. Fear. Companies fear downtime. They fear retraining workers. They fear broken software. They fear losing money. So even when another operating system looks better, they stay with Windows because safe feels more important than better. And this fear became extremely powerful during one moment almost nobody talks about. Windows XP. Released in 2001, Windows XP became one of the most loved operating systems ever. People refused to leave it. Some businesses continued using XP for more than a decade after Microsoft officially ended support. ATMs used it. Hospitals used it. Factories used it. Governments used it. In fact, years after support ended, Microsoft still had to release emergency security patches because so many critical systems depended on XP. That is not normal software behavior. That is dependency. And dependency is very hard to break. If you're enjoying this deep dive, consider subscribing, because stories like this show how technology really shapes the world behind the scenes. Now here's where the story becomes even stranger. Many people think operating systems compete mainly on features, but features are often not the real battle. The real battle is ecosystems. Take Linux, for example. Linux is powerful, stable, free. It runs most of the internet. Android phones use Linux underneath. Supercomputers use Linux. Servers everywhere use Linux. Yet Linux never conquered desktop computers. Why? Because regular people don't care about kernels or open source philosophy. They care about simple questions. Will my game work? Will my printer work? Will my work software work? Will my Adobe apps work? And for many years, the answer was easier on Windows. That convenience mattered more than technical superiority. And gaming became one of Windows' secret weapons. In the 1990s and early 2000s, PC gaming exploded. Microsoft pushed technologies like DirectX, making Windows the main home for games. Game developers followed the players. Players followed the games. And suddenly, millions of people had another reason not to leave Windows. Even today, many gamers stay on Windows, mainly because compatibility is easier. But then, something unexpected happened. Valve. The company behind Steam started worrying about Microsoft becoming too powerful. So Valve invested heavily in Linux gaming through projects like Proton and SteamOS. And surprisingly, it worked better than many expected. Today, thousands of Windows games can run on Linux through compatibility tools. But even now, Windows remains dominant. Because changing habits is harder than changing software. And habits might be the most underrated reason Windows survives. Think about this. Most people learned computers through Windows. They know where the Start button is. They know how File Explorer works. They know how to install programs. Even tiny changes can feel uncomfortable. This is why people sometimes panic when apps redesign their icons. Humans get attached to familiarity. Microsoft understands this deeply. That's why Windows changes slowly compared to many tech products. Too much change scares users. Too little change makes the system feel old. Microsoft constantly walks this weird balancing rope, and sometimes they fail badly. Windows Vista launched in 2007 and became infamous for performance problems and annoying security pop-ups. Many people hated it. Then Windows 8 arrived in 2012 and confused users by removing the familiar Start menu. People were furious. But notice something fascinating. Even after these failures, businesses still stayed. Why? Because leaving Windows completely was still harder than tolerating frustration. That's how strong the ecosystem had become. And then came another hidden reason Windows is hard to replace: hardware support. This part sounds boring at first, but it's actually one of the biggest reasons. Windows runs on an absurd number of devices: tiny laptops, massive gaming PCs, weird office machines, special industrial systems, old printers, new webcams, random barcode scanners, medical equipment, factory tools, thousands and thousands of hardware combinations. Supporting all this is unbelievably difficult. Apple avoids this problem by controlling both hardware and software together. That's why Macs usually feel smoother. But Windows chose the opposite strategy: run everywhere. And that strategy helped Windows spread across the world faster than competitors, especially in businesses and developing countries where cheaper hardware mattered. By the late 1990s, Windows PCs became the default computer for millions of families. Children learned it in school, workers used it in offices, cyber cafes used it, universities used it. And once people learn one system deeply, they often stick with it for years. But there's another reason nobody talks about enough: piracy. Yes, seriously. In many countries during the 1990s and early 2000s, pirated Windows copies spread everywhere. Students used them, small businesses used them, internet cafes used them. Microsoft founder Bill Gates once reportedly said something very interesting. He suggested that if people were going to pirate software anyway, he preferred they pirate Microsoft products because they would eventually become dependent on them. And that dependency mattered later. People trained on Windows at home often demanded Windows at work, so even illegal copies accidentally helped expand Microsoft's ecosystem worldwide. Strange, right? But the story gets even deeper, because Microsoft eventually realized something important. The future was changing. Phones were becoming more important than PCs. Cloud computing was rising, web apps were growing, and suddenly, Windows itself was no longer the center of technology. Years ago, this could have destroyed Microsoft. But instead, Microsoft transformed. The company shifted toward cloud services like Azure, subscriptions like Microsoft 365, and developer tools like GitHub, which Microsoft bought in 2018. Ironically, Microsoft now even supports Linux heavily in its cloud business. That would have sounded insane in the 1990s. Microsoft once treated Linux like an enemy. Now Linux workloads run widely on Microsoft Azure servers. Why? Because Microsoft learned something huge. The goal was no longer protecting Windows at all costs. The goal was staying important no matter what platform people use. And this may be the biggest twist in the entire story. Windows is hard to replace not just because Microsoft defended it well, but because Microsoft evolved beyond it. That adaptability kept the company alive while many old tech giants disappeared. Still, there's one final piece of the puzzle. And honestly, this might be the most important one. Most people do not choose operating systems, they inherit them. A company buys laptops with Windows already installed. A school teaches students on Windows machines. An office uses Windows software. A family computer runs Windows because that's what the store sold. People rarely sit down and deeply compare operating systems like tech reviewers do. They simply use what's already around them. And once billions of people grow inside the same ecosystem, replacing it becomes like replacing roads in a giant city. Possible? Yes. Easy? Not even close. That's why many Windows killers failed. Not because they were terrible. Some were genuinely excellent, but they underestimated how sticky ecosystems become once they spread everywhere. Technology is not always about the best product winning. Sometimes it's about momentum, compatibility, habit, fear, infrastructure, and timing. Windows became deeply woven into the modern world piece by piece over more than 40 years. And that kind of thing does not disappear overnight. But here's the really fascinating part. For the first time in decades, Windows may not matter as much as it used to. Think about how many people now spend most of their time inside browsers. Chrome, Google Docs, Slack, Zoom, Spotify, Netflix. Web apps slowly reduced the importance of the operating system underneath. Even developers increasingly work across multiple platforms, and younger users growing up on phones and tablets may care less about desktop operating systems entirely. So while Windows remains incredibly powerful, the world around it is changing. Quietly. Slowly. Almost invisibly. Just like the network effect that helped Windows dominate in the first place. And maybe that's the biggest lesson here. The strongest technologies are not always the flashiest ones. Sometimes the strongest technology is simply the one connected to everything else. Like roots underground, you barely notice them until you try pulling the tree out. If you made it this far, subscribe for more deep dives like this, because the hidden stories behind technology are often way crazier than the technology itself. And the next time your Windows computer forces an update at the worst possible moment, just remember something funny. You're not only using an operating system, you're using decades of history, business decisions, software compatibility tricks, global habits, gaming culture, corporate fear, and one of the largest ecosystems humanity has ever built. And that is why Windows is so hard to replace.